what's good, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you had a great weekend over the last few days. It's been a rainy few days here in Florida, so just been tinkering with the studio, doing a lot of office work. We are ready to get started. Before we get started, if you are a customer of ours, tomorrow, join us in the Jazz Classroom. We'll send you a link to that. We're going to talk about how the wealthy actually position their investments or their investment accounts for more retirement or long term. So we're going to specifically go over some of the things you've heard us generally mention on YouTube, but for our customers, we're going to go a step further, show you how to really fine tune your tax situation as well as the investments inside. If you are interested in some of our live events, go to the website up at the top, look for events in the menu, and that give you an update of all the events that we have going on. Also, under the services tab, the first drop down there is portfolios and performance. That is all of our existing portfolios that we offer. We do have others coming out soon, but those are our current portfolios that we offer, as well as the performance, so you can get an idea. What would it mean if you work with Jazz? What would that mean? What kind of portfolios would you have the option to invest in, and how would that go for you? All right, we're going to make this a pretty short one today because the markets were kind of quiet. It was sort of a quiet day in the positive, not very much. The markets were up higher earlier, but sort of a quiet day. Nothing too exciting to grab onto, so we'll go over to the charts and talk about that for just a moment. We had the Dow higher on the day by 73, the S&P jumped 2, and the Nasdaq was higher by 8. Now, earlier in the day, let's go to the Dow. Earlier in the day, the markets were higher. All of them actually combined were higher, but there was just nothing. There's just nothing exciting to grab onto. There was no real good move there for investors to jump all over. And look, we've already had a nice run. If you go back over the last sort of 2 weeks there, nice run off of the lows, and that includes the S&P as well. Very nice run off the lows. And so it's kind of normal for the markets to run up a hill, then take a little break, then run up a hill, and then take a break. So not much to mention there. There was some positive news. President Trump apparently is playing his game, trying to be a little more soft on the Chinese sort of trade tensions that have been they've been fighting back and forth. A little bit of a softer tone here today. That did help the markets a little bit. Really, the excitement was in the semiconductor space. That was one of, if not your best performing sector of the market today. The semiconductors added almost another 2% on the day. You've got Qualcomm trying to buy NXP. If you follow this sort of mergers and acquisitions thing, we got a new look. The Chinese regulators are going to take a new look at that. Very positive sign. Actually, lots of great semiconductor stocks did well today. We'll take a look at some of the individual stocks that did well or poorly in this case. EAT down 4% today. The name of the company is Brinker. The ticker symbol is EAT. You probably know them as Chili's or Maggiano's, if you're familiar with those restaurants. Well, the company came out and said, hey, at our Chili's restaurants, we had some data that was compromised back in March and April, and so the stock is a little bit lower on that news. The stock's actually down almost 8% from the highs, as investors sort of seem to have gotten ahead of that news a little bit. And now that adds to the total. We now have 15 retail data breaches from retail companies since last year. You got Whole Foods and Under Armour in the mix there as well, as far as companies that have seen data stolen from them. So kind of interesting. That's a little quiet news thing that's not coming up very much. If we go over to Alphabet, the stock was higher on the day. It did close a little bit towards where it started. Not a big deal. The company hired one of the Tesla executives, and it's not like, oh, we just hired a Tesla executive, so that's, it's what it is. They actually hired the main point guy for U.S. regulation, U.S. Safety regulators. So he already had experience working with the U.S. safety regulators, and they stole him right from Tesla. So Waymo is the brand that Google is working on their autonomous driving vehicles. They seem to have the upper hand here, at least at the moment. And I believe Tesla was down a few points on the day, down $9, or down about 3% on the news there. So not good. They're losing more and more of their management over there. I don't know if you follow that, but not going well. And lastly, we'll go to Xerox. Brilliant move here by the two guys that are working with Xerox. The stock was actually all the way down to new lows today. Huge drop. It only closed down about 4.3%. Basically, there's a settlement between Xerox, Carl Icahn, and another investor to take Fuji Films out of the equation for the moment and basically have the company up for sale for all available bidders, right? So really, really brilliant move by two very smart investors, something you might want to look at. That's really it. I mean, I don't have a lot to go on. Symantec recovery day today, if you followed that from Friday. I wish I had more to share with you. The focus, the excitement today is really the Fed's making sports betting public, or at least leaving it up to the states. So now individual states can decide how they want to handle legalizing sports betting. I think it's fine. Look, all these states need money. There are a lot of states. I could do videos. I have an alert set for different video topics I want to do. I could do a lot of videos on a lot of these states that are struggling, that are in very bad shape. And remember, the economy is at the best of times right now, or at least you'd have to say the economy is doing well. Maybe not the best of times, but and so for states to be struggling now, they need all the revenue they can get. I hope they get the revenue they're looking for. I doubt they'll get the revenue they're looking for. But hey, if you like betting on sports, turns out another way for you to go about it may be legal now. You don't have to be quiet about it. So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Short day. We'll keep the video short because there's very little to talk about. Hopefully that picks up throughout the week. There are still earnings to go, so we will be looking out for that. If you have any questions, you guys know where to find me. Leave a comment below, and we'll talk soon. Have a great Monday.